Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Guys, we are definitely getting one of the most interesting isekai slash lady group shows I have seen in so long, and to think that all of this is probably going to continue to stay bomb and absolutely hype. I definitely look forward to seeing people's reactions to not only the comedy part, but to see if this show does get a second season. And if it does, you can be guaranteed that they're probably going to have to find something even stronger than an Elder Dragon at the end. Because as of right now, if we don't get a second season, it's because our characters probably die. Going against this Elder Dragon right now, we are seeing girls push to the utter limit, and the one thing that was kind of, I don't know how to put it, but the one thing that kind of had me like, this week was the fact that this was all like very heavily foreshadowed. Like it wasn't even, you can't even joke how much foreshadowing there was for this. Just being like, oh well, by the way, if I die, you guys aren't gonna be prepared for nothing. Nah, that will never happen. You're gonna grow old and have wrinkles on your face, and what happens? What happens, my anime people? This is why you live life to the fullest. YOLO. Um, I really do want to see how ridiculously powerful her next like attack's going to be. Um, I'm pretty sure this was one of the worst things you could do when it comes down to angering this girl, Miles, including if she wakes up to find out that her friends are on the cusp of being defeated. Yeah, I don't think you want that to be. You don't want to be the reason why they're all on the ground, and including in front of her. If you're gonna knock them all down, you better be quick to get away because I trust nothing when it comes down to anybody surviving a full-on attack from this girl who's been trying to be in the background and not be. Oh my God, what did I? Well, it doesn't matter. Be in the background and really push forward the narrative of, hey, I don't want this attention. Please get this attention off me. To I need to save these girls, and if I don't, I might lose, like some real good people in my life. So to think that you're the reason why she might lose those people, yeah, she's gonna pull a rabbit out of the hat and destroy somebody. So I can only imagine what type of power we're about to see her emerge with from being knocked out, including since the one thing I've been wanting to see or at least get a little bit of an understanding of is maybe the person that she has summoned this whole time, or is he capable of doing anything? Because he's already like, he's someone that can't be seen by anybody but her. So what if all of a sudden he is seen and it's because the magic overfloweth? I don't even know anymore at this point. It just feels awkwardly interesting in the grand scheme of whatever pops off this week. Whatever popped off this week is leading into a second episode. So unlike some of the episodes where it's just a full-blown episode and it gets resolved the same week, you can tell they're going for a little bit more of a full-blown approach to give us a good first season finale or the end of the show. I don't know. I mean, like I said, if they foreshadowed the fact that Miles was feeling like she was doing too much for the girls, they were getting too reliant on her abilities, and then she does the same thing she was telling them that they were doing too much of, which was she taking the lead and them relying on her abilities, aka sleeping all the guards, and now being the one who did practically the same amount of damage without, having to lose somebody almost. Well, actually, to be fair, even her explosion magic that's really, really good didn't even leave a scratch on him. So the girls got pushed to a point after seeing Miles go down that they could actually scratch him. So that was like a little bit of a jump for them. But to think that that's all they gain from it, that's a bad sign for the future of them not needing her, right? Like, it just goes to show you that regardless of what you think you're doing, you still, at the end of the day, are probably going to need some type of help. And this Elder Dragon is looking like no one can touch it, but I'm hoping they give it a convincing defeat, or at least a good reason why it's even here in the first place, because we don't even know why the dragon's here, because all we know is people have gone here, have gone missing, and then after they're gone missing, people were sent out to go find them. And I guess if you find them, maybe you can find out what's going on with the mission at the same time. But this attack right here I'm about to do looks a lot like the explosion magic she does, and it doesn't even scathe him. Oh, I can't see it. Wow, because I talked about it. It does the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, overall, this week's episode is definitely one of the more I was gonna call it linear, but it wasn't really linear, right? Like, the whole entire time it could have been linear and stayed linear was when they introduced the Beast People as the villains in this situation, and then we find out they're not the villains, right? So that automatically, in my opinion, makes it so it's not linear. It wasn't just a straightforward storytelling that you could predict that there was just a freaking dragon waiting. But like I said, there was a lot of foreshadowing, and if you're reading and paying attention and not treating this show as a uh, numb your mind type of show and just watch and not really pay attention, this was the first time they were ever bringing up like Fenrir slash Earth Dragon rare like levels, right? Like, all of a sudden this was a huge talking point of discussion, was what these different classes and levels are. And then next thing you know, we run into a dragon. So it was one of these things where these shows can't really set up every single thing and do comedy and make building characters all at the same level quality, right? Like, they're building up these girls, them making these girls worth caring about, and all that stuff was excellently done. But to then give us the classes of the strongest types of stuff, and then we run into said stuff, seemed kind of I don't know how to put it, but it wasn't really the best way. I feel like they could have introduced it. They could have told us all of the stuff that they could have ended up fighting when they first became the Crimson Vow, and then we're like, wait, they could come this, that, or you know what I mean? They have to fight all that, and then there's this out there. But what we keep seeing is them not fighting any of that stuff. That would have been cool to understand, right? Like, to see they knew about all these high level stuff, and then later on it shows up, instead of us hearing about it right now and then getting it right now. So my only gripe with this week's episode, other than that, it was really awesome in the grand scheme of what we got. So I definitely want to hear what you guys are feeling on this. It's been quite a road. We got probably one episode left. Either we're going to get a season finale, or we are just going to get a overall end all be all, and then a season 2. So we'll see what happens. I definitely want to know what you guys want, if you want a season 2, or if you can see this thing ending relatively quickly and just being over it. So with all that being said, have an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you very soon. So with that being said, peace.